During the USSR's existence from December 30th, 1922 to December 26th, 1991, the USSR had 12 different leaders. Each had different policies and plans for the Communist Party, but they had one common goal: to spread communism across the world. The first instance of the USSR's expansion is an event called the Iron Curtain, a militaristic border that separated Eastern Europe into the Communist bloc and the Western bloc. It was established in 1945 by the dictator of the Communist Party, Joseph Stalin. Its purpose was to protect their nuclear sites and prevent Western influence from getting into the country. Here's a visual representation of how the Iron Curtain was established. We need to create a buffer zone in between us and Western influence.
Sir, what if we took control of the countries on our western border? We spread glorious communism to more of Europe and create a buffer.
I got it. If we take over the countries on our western border, we'll have a buffer zone in between us and Western influence. The Korean War. The Korean War was a conflict between North and South Korea that lasted from 1950 to 1953, with North Korea getting support and advisory from the USSR, and South Korea getting aid from Western military, mostly the United States. To understand how the USSR spread communism to North Korea, we have to understand why they were there in the first place. After Japan's defeat in World War II, control of Korea was given to the Allies, who divided the country across its 38th parallel. It was ultimately decided that the United States would hold and oversee democratic elections in the South, and that the Soviet Union would oversee a communist government in the North. Here's a visual representation of some of the events that happened during the Korean War. With North Korea under our control, we need to appoint a new leader. I propose Kim Il-sung fills this position. He has experience and is a loyal communist.
I agree, sir.
I'm very eager to lead this country. I won't let you up.
Good to hear, comrade. One year later.
Thank you for meeting with me. Very urgent matter. We must unify Korea under communism. Is that not the goal?
Kim, this is the 27th time this week you asked me to unify Korea.
Only because of how important this is.
Alright, let me explain this in a way you'll understand. If we go and try to unify South Korea with the US supporting them, there's a good chance they'll make us go boom boom.
Boom.
Boom. Yes. Now let's get back to work. There's more important matters to discuss. The invasion of South Korea wouldn't occur until Communist leader Mao Zedong defeated the Chinese nationalists to establish the People's Republic of China. Mao, who was eager to form an alliance with the USSR due to their status, traveled to Moscow to sign a treaty about an alliance. While this is happening, the Truman Organization, whose major goal is to stop the spread of communism, noticed they were uninterested in sending troops to Korea and protecting them. This indicated that the United States wasn't an immediate threat to North Korea, which would allow an easier invasion. Here's a visual representation of the treaty meeting. Welcome, comrade. I'm glad we can meet.
The pleasure is all mine, comrade.
Alright, now, let us discuss the terms of the treaty. The original terms of the treaty are unknown, but there was a disagreement and the changes were made into what it is today. This is how I imagine it went. Alright, I am willing to provide China with generous economic and military support under the condition that you are the one to give Kim Il-sung the green light to invade South Korea.
Understood. I agree to these terms.
Summary of the battle. After the invasion of Seoul, UN forces, including United States forces, retook the capital. Their victory was short-lived, though, as after they marched towards the North Korean border, which Mao took personally by sending hundreds of thousands of Chinese and North Korean troops over the border, which forced them to retreat. In retaliation, the United States started to bomb Chinese reinforcements that were being sent to North Korea. Mao, seeing this, called upon Stalin for air support. Even though he didn't want to directly fight with the US, he had promised Mao air support as part of their alliance. They continued to pointlessly fight and bomb each other for 3 years, and the war ended in a stalemate as North Korea and South Korea established a demilitarized zone across the 38th parallel, which is still standing today. This attempt of spreading communism was ultimately a failure, and only led to the death of thousands in a still divided country. Thanks for watching.